The other good thing is a pencil and a permanent marker or a Sharpie. For just temporary marks on the bow, if I'm adjusting things, I will use a pencil. For everything permanent, where I know it's going to be there until I coat the bow with some paint or whatever, I use a Sharpie. Also, definitely kind of essential. Something that's pretty essential, unless you have gator leather hands, is gloves. These are leather gloves. I did purchase the gloves that are kind of the rubber on the front, kind of cloth in the back, kind of real cheap gloves. But I found that I was still having to use gloves and like 4 towels or whatever to hold the PVC. And you're going to be bending and shaping the PVC. So a good pair of leather gloves is really nice to have. You can also use like a hot pad or whatever, but a towel, I will use the gloves in conjunction with the towel to give me some as I'm trying to shape the PVC, run my hand up and down the pipe. It'll make it a little more slick. So, and then now I will go back and cover the saws and the files. So the hand saw is going to be used for, especially if you have a PVC pipe cutter, for cutting the pipe into whatever length you want to start your bow. Also, you're doing intricate design cuts and so forth, which you will see in some of these bow making videos. And if you have a bandsaw, that is perfect. But this is, I believe this is a technical term, is a jeweler's saw. It has a real thin blade, so it allows you to be agile with your cuts. Still not as good as a bandsaw, but not all of us can afford a bandsaw or have the room for a bandsaw. Now a knife. I don't use it, I wouldn't say this is essential, but I use it for just random things. One of the things you can use it for is kind of shaving off the letters off the PVC for finishing purposes. You don't have to do that, but it's something you can, especially if you're going to stain the bow with like some sort of stain to give it like a wood faux effect. So I use it for cutting away things and cleaning out stuff or whatever. So it's a knife. It's essential. So the 2 round files I showed you earlier from cutting my nocks, I use for cutting nocks, and I believe these were $10 or $12 at Lowe's. I don't remember the size of them, but it's nice to have something you consistently cut your nocks with, or certain ways you do it so they're consistent every time. I use it for other random things because they're small and agile. I can get them in certain places. The file that I use the most is going to be, this is a 1/2 round, I believe it's a bastard cut file. And I use it to shape, my tips of my bows, my sias, what have you. If you have a belt sander, that is key and much easier. But sometimes with a belt sander or whatever, Dremel, you can take off too much. And I've done that with a Dremel. I find that a little more difficult to use, and definitely takes some practice, and I took off too much and I've had to scrap a bow or two. This is nice because you're taking off a little bit each time and you're not getting too crazy with it, and this works great. The last thing I wanted to show you was my box and some of the things I have inside of my box. Now when I say box, this is basically kind of like my travel container, and I picked up this at Walmart. It was like 20 bucks, and it's awesome. It has a removable tray, and it has just enough room in the bottom to hold like a paint pan, and then everything else. So some of the stuff I have in here. I want to talk about glues real fast. One of the main types of glues you're going to use is glue sticks or hot glue, hot melt glue, whatever. I mean, it's not super strong. You're not going to hold everything with it, but it kind of uses a filler sometimes, or just a decent bond. It's cheap and great stuff to have. And you don't have to have a glue gun either. You're going to be using your heat source, like your heat gun, to melt the glue and then apply it kind of with your hand. But you can get a glue gun, whatever you like to do. Another thing that I find myself using a lot is epoxy. The 2 main epoxies I have found, and there are tons of different types of epoxy, are a plastic epoxy and then just a 2-part 5-minute epoxy. Now, you have to be careful, don't want to use too much, and it's very potent stuff. I would advise using maybe some rubber gloves and disposable trays, paper plates, those kind of things that you don't mind destroying, because it is very potent and can mess stuff up. So be careful when using it. And some of the other glues are a super glue and contact cement. I haven't really had a lot of luck with contact cement. Some people use it, maybe because I just got some cheap Harbor Freight stuff, so maybe it's just junk. But super glue, I use it for putting wraps on my bows for the handle and whatnot. It works really well for that. So I do have epoxy putty. I don't know if it's the kind of, I just have the one that's in the tube. I don't know if it's the kind I have, but if I just don't know what the heck I'm doing with it, but I have not had success with it. So you'll see these other guys use it in their videos, and you'll use it in like, what the crap. So I haven't had any success with that. So another thing I want to talk about is sandpaper. I have some finishing sandpaper in here, 150, 220, 320. Use it for, you can actually sand the lettering off the bow if you don't want to scrape it with a knife. You can do that, get out scratches, dents, whatnot, finishing up for painting purposes. I also use this to file out, or not file out the knocks, but sand out the knocks so they're nice and smooth so you're not ripping on the rope or anything like that. PVC pipe cutters. These aren't obviously 100% essential or needed, but when you do have it, they make nice straight cuts along your pipe to whatever length you want or whatever you're doing with it compared to the saw. I don't always have the steadiest hands, but I was lucky. A friend of mine gave me these. I think at the store these are like 20 bucks, maybe probably even cheaper online. So definitely nice to have. This other thing here is a luggage scale. I got this on Amazon, I think $15, $20, and I use this to weigh the poundage of my bow. And I will show you in a different video how I do that, how some other people do it. And you can also use a weight scale, the one you step on. You can do some different things with that. You can use that to test the weight of your bow as well. Rope. You're going to be using this as temporary strings. Make sure you're stringing it up. Make sure your bow's pulling properly. You don't have any weird kinks in it, bends, whatnot. Some people are having good luck with Paracord. What this is diamond braided poly rope. I believe this is a 3/16 or 5/16. But what you want is nylon rope tends to stretch a lot more, and that's actually why I don't use Paracord and I use this, because I'm actually not just using it as a very temporary string, but kind of a semi-permanent. I haven't learned to make strings yet, and I haven't bought a lot of strings for these bows that I'm making and so forth. So, but this is a great semi-permanent string. It does have some stretch to it. I'll show you how I use it in the future in a video, but great stuff. Comes in all sorts of colors. This is camel colored. So, also in this tray here, I have some scissors, a file. I'm not sorry, file, a level, and a little knife, some pliers, whatnot. Some extra scrap pieces of PVC, my field points. The nice thing about this is it has a good, this bottom part where I have some extra pieces of sandpaper. I have extra pieces of paper plates and so forth that I use for the epoxy. I try and be as wise as I can with my resources and not be wasteful. So that's why I have that here. No, something that's also pretty essential, depending on who you are safety glasses, especially when you're sanding, sawing. Sometimes stuff can get your eye. Always good to take safety precautions. And when you're painting and sanding is a face mask. This little guy here. If you are spray painting a lot, I would definitely get one of those ventilator masks. They're just expensive, that's why I have not purchased one, so I'm kind of going with this and hopefully I don't get the black lung or something. So, and the bottom here, I got some extra scrap pieces of PVC and whatnot, and holds my paint cans really well. So I can throw this puppy back in here, close it up, take it to a friend's house, take it to a show if you're doing a demonstration, whatever, you're moving around a lot, your mom kicks you out of the kitchen. This stuff works great for that. So I believe that's everything, but yeah, Google Plus, community, PVC, and archery. I think that's it. But check it out on Google Plus. We also have a forum. Join the Google Plus community. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your comments. Get to know you. Help you out as any way we can. It's a great community. I think we just hit 1,100 members. Yeah. We'll see you guys in the next video. I think I'm going to do a heating video for the limb so you get good heating techniques. All right. We'll catch you later.